One of the biggest trends at the moment in the online content space is all about documenting your life. And I think this is something that is really, really important. I think the idea that you can create memories or have things that you're able to look back on is a really, really valuable thing. And we're in a unique place in human history where that kind of thing's sort of accessible to everyone. As a photographer, I really want a camera that I can carry around with me, have on me pretty much at all times, that is going to be my camera that I use for documenting my day-to-day life and taking the photography that I love. I'm a professional filmmaker and photographer, and I have a few really nice cameras that I use for work, but they're very much work tools. I don't get the same kind of satisfaction necessarily out of using them as I might out of a different camera, shall we say. My favourite camera that I own is a Leica M6. I've had it for a few years now. I got it just before my granddad passed. It was a gift from him. He used to shoot on Leica cameras. He was a photographer. He's the one that very much got me into this. It's a camera that I absolutely adore. There's nothing quite like the feeling of holding that camera, shooting through the rangefinder. The tactility of it is like nothing else that I've ever used. But the cost of film nowadays is astronomical. And it was always a bit of a dream of mine to own a digital Leica to go alongside it. But I just figured that was never going to happen. They're so expensive. I mean, an M11 now I think still goes for about £6,000-7,000. Out of the realms of possibility. My budget's more in the kind of A7CR sort of range. A great budget for a camera to carry every day, but not in the same league as one of those Leicas. And I need to get my M6 repaired. So I nipped into the Leica store in London, and that is where I found this. This is the Leica M240, or Type M240, and it's a camera that is 11 years old, I think. It is really slow, it is not good in low light, and it is the most fun I've ever had using a digital camera. The thing is, it shoots very much like the M6, just without the film winder. It's got the same kind of tactile feeling. I can use the same lenses. It has a very analog feel to it. Shooting through a rangefinder is wonderful, having moved obviously over to completely mirrorless systems in the last few years. It's different. It's a different experience shooting through glass rather than shooting through a digital image. I really like the look of it. I love the feel of a rangefinder camera. I loved it since I had the M6 and before when I used a Canon QL17. I think a rangefinder is my favourite way of making photos. And I've just fallen absolutely head over heels in love with this camera, and it's pretty much not left my side in the last 4 months since I got it. So I want to talk through a little bit today about why I love it so much and what it is, and why it's so great. The things you need to know, it's got a 24 megapixel sensor. It doesn't have any kind of Wi-Fi or anything like that to transfer images on the go. It is rubbish in low light. You can maybe go to 1600 ISO before you start introducing horrendous noise. The dynamic range isn't amazing. And if you overexpose it, your image is completely ruined forever. So all those things sound pretty bad, especially for a camera that costs still a lot of money. Much, in my budget, but still a lot of money. So why go for something like this? And it does come down very much to the tactility of it, the feeling of shooting with this camera. It's all completely manual focus. It has that rangefinder, which is just a type of photography and a style of shooting that I really, really enjoy, always have. There is something about it that means that I can go from using the M6 to using the M240, and it feels like I'm using the same camera, just that one's digital and one's film. I love the colours I'm able to get out of it. It's a bit hard at first. I struggled for a while to work out how to get nice images out of it. The raw files are very different to what I'm used to on the Sonys, but it is really nice once I kind of got to know it a little bit, got to know where to push it, where to pull it, how I'm able to manipulate the image and make them into things that I really, really like. I think that the image quality out of it is phenomenal. It's a 24 megapixel sensor, which is obviously nowadays fairly low, but it's still really high resolution when you think about it. 24 megapixels for photographs that are largely going to live online, maybe a print for around the house. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm not going to shoot a billboard on it, but I wouldn't shoot a billboard on it. It's not for that. It's for capturing moments around me. And that's what I've enjoyed about it the most. I've been able to carry it around with me, and it feels like an extension of my eye when I'm out and about with friends, family, doing things, and I don't feel like it's interrupting the moment as much as a bigger, heavier, bulkier camera might. It's not a big thing to take it out of my bag because it just sits on my shoulder. And that means that I can just grab little moments. I mean, there's so many favourite times where I've seen a little thing that's going to happen and I'm able to capture the memory instantly. This is a photograph of a good friend of mine being told that our mutual friend had met Taylor Swift in a coffee shop. I could see this was coming because I knew the story, and I was able to just whip up the camera, grab the shot of them in a moment, and I love it. I love that I've managed to preserve this memory. And yes, it's manual focus, but I think you get used to it so quickly and how to shoot it. And actually, I think that trains my eye and makes me a better photographer. And that is one of the big things about this camera. It has improved my photography. That isn't because it's a Leica. I think it's really easy to see that little red dot and think, wow, that's an expensive camera, or they're a bit rubbish, honestly. Like, this is the worst camera I own. Specs-wise, age-wise, it's not got a lot of the things that a lot of modern cameras have. This is the camera that I want to use day to day, and that is why it's improving my photography. Not because it's a better camera, but because it's a camera that I want to pick up and take out. I've normally got it on me, and therefore I'm taking more photographs, and I'm finding the limitations of the camera and of my eye. And both of those things I know how to push. I know what I'm looking for in a photograph. I've taken some of my best work I've ever taken on this camera. The photos I love the most have largely come in the large 4 months since I got it. Part of that probably is recency bias, but part of it is also that I'm enjoying using it so much. And like with most things in creative arts, the process is as important as the final result, at least for me. So do I think that if you bought a Leica, it would improve your photography? Maybe. It does depend a lot on what you want out of a camera. This is my perfect everyday carry camera, but that doesn't mean it is for everyone. Yes, it's 11 years old. Yes, it has a lot of limitations. And actually those things right now are really fueling my photography and improving it. But that doesn't mean that is right for everyone. I wouldn't recommend someone buys an M240 or another Leica camera. But for me, I know this is the perfect camera for the way I like to make photographs. I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name's Will. I am a filmmaker and photographer from the UK and creative director of Firewood Pictures, which is a film production company. My goal with this channel is just to make some films and some videos just for myself. I do it for my work all the time, and it's really nice to just have a form of a creative outlet. This video is kind of like, in a way, one to make me just make something. I think my goal ultimately is that in 12 months time I can look back on this video and cringe at how terrible it is. So we'll see how we go with that. If you're interested in some more videos about filmmaking and photography, please do feel free to subscribe. It would be great to have you along. I've got some plans to do some breakdowns of some of the short films I've made. I want to make some more photography-based videos, and might do a couple of videos about kind of what it is like to run a film production company in the UK at the moment as well, if that's interesting to people. But yeah, really this is just a creative outlet for me. And if you've enjoyed it and want to come along for the ride, I'd love it if you did. There's a man in the balcony opposite staring at me, and it's quite disconcerting, but that's okay. That's okay. I do have the windows wide open, so. Okay.